welcome back to the show. We're all about hyper-local, promoting things in our community. That's why we love this show. Really cool thing happened yesterday. I found out the Ezell-Harding football team is going back to 11-man football. A few years ago, they went to 8-man football, but now come back to 11-man football. And with us, let's bring in two very special people this morning. Jason Charlton, he's the athletic director at Ezell-Harding, and Corry Stewart is the head football coach. And Jason, I'll start with you. Why the switch back to 11-man football?
Well, Joe, first of all, I appreciate you having us. I remember sitting in the studio talking about our move to 8-man football a few years ago. And, our plan all along, moving to 8-man football, was to build our roster size and to build interest and participation in football, which we've done. And we feel like we're to the point now to where we're ready to transition back to 11-man football, which is what we wanted to do all along. We enjoyed our time in 8-man football, great schools, great teams, coaches, players. But Ezell-Harding has such a rich history in 11-man football that our goal was to push and plan and create a vision that would get us back to 11-man football.
I love it. Coach Stewart, let's bring you in. I mean, now you're a new football coach at Ezell-Harding, back to 11-man football. Are you excited for this announcement? Because I kind of think as a football coach you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm beyond excited. I know once Dr. Charlton and I, when we went through the whole situation about what are we going to do to start this year, one of the things I kept saying was, I don't know much about 8-man, but I know 11-man. And, we were like, why not just take the chance now? We saw that the roster size is where it could be to be something special. So we were like, let's just make the jump. And I think all that's going to do is create a lot of excitement and a lot more buzz for the community, for the people around this area to want to consider Ezell-Harding a school for them.
I love it. And Coach, let me ask you to follow up on that as well. I think we're learning now, and full disclosure, my son plays at DCA, and they had like 24 kids on the team. I think now that we're adapting, coaches are learning that these rosters aren't going to be what they had when we played back in the day, and you make the most out of it with a small roster. And now you see that it's being able, you can field a football team competitively. So, Coach, was that part of the mindset? Like, we've got players now, we got a little depth, we're good to go?
Yes, because I know when we first came and talked, Dr. Charlton, Dr. Judd asked me, what would be the smallest number I would take to consider 11-man. And I wanted to say 11. But obviously I know that's not feasible. But, we had a number that we set. And then once we sort of talked with the kids and the players and realized that we were going to be above that number, we saw it as a no-brainer. This was the time to do it. I know we're not expecting a roster size of 50. I think rosters continue to grow the more you get successful. But like you said, you don't have to have a huge roster to be successful. The league that is in TWSLA, a lot of those teams don't have huge rosters. You just need some players that can play and be competitive, and then obviously you got to put them in positions as a coach to be successful.
Jason, I saw you a few weeks ago, and you told me how excited you were to have Corry as your new football coach. This was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Did you know then that you were in the back of your mind going to make this move to 11-man?
We had talked pretty much all school year about wanting to do that. The question was now the right time to do that? And one of the reasons, among others, that we decided to do it was we're kind of in the middle of the scheduling cycle. So this allows us the opportunity to go back to 11-man football, kind of create your own schedule of teams that we can compete with, that'll push us and challenge us, but kind of create our own schedule before we jump back into the league with the teams that we're used to playing the following season. So we just felt like the time was right. But yes, a few weeks ago, we felt like we were leaning this way, but the more we talked about it, it just made sense to go ahead and make the move.
How is it scheduling? Are you able to schedule for 2022 to reach back out to these schools?
Yes, I'll let Corry speak to that a little bit more, but we're just about, I think we're one game short of having a full schedule for this upcoming season.
Well, that's good, Corry. That's a good thing for teams that are opening up and letting this and getting your schedule complete. That had to be just a big burden lifted off of you.
It will, once we sort of got some stuff finalized, yeah, but I mean, it was a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, just trying to find anybody who's available because the fact that TWSLA is in that 2-year cycle. So with them being in that 2-year cycle, I wasn't really sure where we're going to find games. So we actually had to look everywhere. We had to look at independent schools that play 11-man. We found some TSSA schools that had an opening, whether, last year they just didn't have a game because of COVID, or they dropped the team from previous year. And I actually have to look out of state to try to find some teams to play. So like Dr. Charles said, we have 9 right now. I'm working on one to hopefully finalize it to make it 10, but we're getting close.
Was it, when you call these other schools, were that the first time if you called school X, Corry, and they said, hey, we're Ezell-Harding, get back, what was their kind of reaction to what you were telling them?
Well, for a lot of them, they were actually excited for us. Obviously, the news hadn't necessarily come out yet that we were doing it. I was sort of hinting to them that it was a possibility, and I was just trying to have a possible schedule just in case. And a lot of the coaches were responding, saying, we're excited for you guys going back to 11-man. And we know that's big news for you. And a lot of them were pretty much in support and saying, let us know whatever they can do to help.
That's great. Jason, when I saw you a few weeks ago, one of the first things you told me was, hey, we hired a new football coach. I think you will like him. Why do you like your new football coach?
Well, Corry brings a lot of energy. I mean, you can tell that just listen to him talk. He brings a lot of energy. He has great passion for football. But I'll tell you, Joe, the thing that probably sold me on him was his passion for kids. We are big believers in transformational coaching, coaches that we want in our building that, certainly we like to win and the kids like to win, but we all know that sports, there's a lot more about sports than winning and losing. And so the relationship building with kids and helping them understand that football and all extracurricular activities or co-curricular activities, as we like to call them, they teach the life skills and the virtues and things that are going to carry these kids beyond football. And Corry came to us from with great experience, and we just felt confident, very confident that he was going to be the guy to kind of take us to the next level. And he's created a lot of buzz in the hallways. He's created a lot of buzz outside the hallways. There's a lot of people talking about Ezell-Harding football right now that weren't talking about Ezell-Harding football just a few weeks ago.
You're exactly right. And Coach, before I let you go there, we talk about, the season starts in August and everything, but we all know the season starts now with workouts and conditioning and all that other good stuff. Are you in a great place now to start to kind of catapult going forward, what you need?
We're getting there. Actually, recently just met with the players. The next step for me is meeting with them one-on-one, again, to just talk a little bit of expectations, get to know them a little bit better. Because like Jason said about the transformational coaching, I want to get to know the kids. For me to be successful as a coach, I need to know as much as I can about the kids so I know how I can coach them to get the best out of them, because every kid is going to be different. Every kid learns different. Every kid has to be coached different. Will I have the same expectations for all of them? Yes, but I know the coaching philosophy will be different for all of them. As far as the off season goes, yes, weight room is going to be important. I'm going to do my best, as I'm doing my other jobs within the building, to be in the weight room with the kids and making sure that they know this is a high energy place. This is what starts to build success for you come August. Wins and losses start now more than they do in August and September.
You're exactly right. Yeah, you're exactly right. And again, even though my son plays for a rival, I wish you guys all the success in the world. I'm a big proponent, and Jason knows this, of high school football and what coaches like you do more than coach football. You build young men. And so that's why I think the game of football is vital to every school around. Guys, thank you so much. Much success. You ever need anything, you know how to get a hold of me, and hope you guys have a great year.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. That's Corry Stewart and Jason Charlton, the athletic director, the head football coach at Ezell-Harding. The big announcement, Ezell going back to 11-man football. Really cool. And I love to see that. And I love for these kids too, for all that.